Yeah, hi there. These comments are for XW, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons. So I got my notes here, I got my pen here, and I'm getting ready to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 1. And thank you for completing the assignment.
And the speaker give me 2 examples. The passage and the speaker give me 2 examples that
I wouldn't say give me. If you put personal pronouns in there, it makes it a little less formal. But when you're summarizing other people's ideas, in this case, you don't really need to use those personal pronouns. So just say the writer and the speaker explain 2 ways advertising can affect consumers, something like that.
Illustrate the influence of advertising for the people. The reading passage said the advertising often influence the people's lives. For example,
yeah, but how does it influence people's lives according to the reading passage? The reading passage is focusing on the political effects of advertising. I think it's important to state that. That gives us a purpose. Then you can give examples to support that generalization.
Advertising often influence people toward.
You want to say often influences, right? So when you put that S there, you have to create a new syllable.
For or against a political candidate.
Okay, when you're speaking very slowly, you're pausing a lot, and you're having trouble pronouncing a lot of the words. So you want to show, when you do this kind of speaking practice, that you have what's called fluency. That means that you speak faster with fewer pauses, and you're blending your ideas within thought groups. Now, how do you do that, right? So I want you to go to pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. Write this down. You got your paper, I got mine, right? So I want you to go to pronunciation lessons 41 through 44 and study what's called thought groups and blending, and you should practice the exercises in those lessons, and that can help you improve your pronunciation.
The speaker told me about an example that people usually buy the familiar brand of toothpaste.
Now wait a minute. So I think you're making a transition, right?
Toward or for or against a political candidate. The speaker told me about an example that
the speaker discusses, or the speaker explains, the economic effects of advertising on people's behavior. That you want to make that transition there, and before you get to the main point, I'd recommend say something like in addition. And you should have a longer pause once you're done talking about the information in the reading passage. You have a little bit of a longer pause. Then you can say, in addition, according to the speaker, advertising can influence people's behaviors economically. And then you give some examples there.
People usually buy the familiar brand of toothpaste because they always see this brand commercials in TV or radio. This influence may be.
I would say the speaker also claims, I would say that right here. Remember, you have to put those voice markers throughout your response so we know what part of your response is talking about the listening passage and which part of your response is talking about the reading passage.
Good or bad. Consequently, it's important to know how the commotion works. In conclusion, the reading and the listenings argue the economy and the political effect of people's lives.
You didn't quite completely say that idea. You're missing some words. So in conclusion, the reading passage and the listening passage argue that advertising can have political and economic effects on consumers' behavior. That's kind of how I would end it. So that would more completely explain the ideas. All right, so thank you first of all for completing this particular practice test. This gives me a lot of important information, so now I can help you. So part of what I do is give you information. I'm going to tell you a couple of things here. In terms of pronunciation, you really need a lot of practice. So what do? I'm going to tell you which areas you can focus on the most, but you should go through all my pronunciation lessons. Pay particular attention. Where is it? To speak clearly, lesson number 16, the zh, measure, major. Those two consonant sounds are hard for you. Also, you want to take a look at syllable division and grammatical word endings. That's pronunciation lesson 26, 27, and 28. You also need to work on your intonation and vary. You need to vary your intonation more. That's pronunciation lesson 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And then, like I said, you also need to work on your thought groups and blending, pronunciation lessons 41, 42, 43, and 44. All right, so your score here, let's take a look at it. So as I said, you have a lot of problems with your delivery. Speaking English, I don't know why, or for whatever reason, you're not comfortable speaking English yet. What you want to do is, right now, watch a lot of TV, watch a lot of movies. I want you to read newspapers on a day-to-day basis in the morning when you're getting ready for school, and also in the evenings when you come home. You need a little bit better control with your language use, including your vocabulary and your grammar. Topic development, you need a little bit better organization. So let me just give you an example of how you can frame this kind of response. So in the beginning of your response, you'll say something like this. The reading and the listening passages discuss the political and the economic effects of advertising on people's behavior. So I think political and economic, you want to state those two key points right in the beginning. Then you say, first of all, according to the reading passage, advertising can have political effects on a person's behavior. And then you give some examples to support that. Then you say, second of all, the listening passage claims that advertising also affects people's behavior economically. And then you give some examples there, and you're done. Remember, the use of personal pronouns, things like I, me, you, we, you really don't need those kinds of personal pronouns as you summarize this information. Okay, so now you know kind of where you are. Your score here, not very good, I'll be honest with you. So you need a lot of practice with your speaking this quarter, but that's why you joined the Intensive English program, am I right? So your score here, I'm going to put you at 1.83 out of 4. And that puts you at 14 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. Now, for the purposes of our class, I'm going to take a look at the rubrics here. So 1.83, this is going to put you at 65% on this practice test. So now you have another homework assignment. And guess what? The second practice test is even harder than the one that you just did. So what do? What kinds of adjustments do you need to make, I think, in order to score higher? So you want to practice a lot right now with your pronunciation. You need to make some adjustments there. You also need to make some adjustments in terms of how you're organizing and developing your responses. So I want you to watch this video maybe 2 or 3 times over the next week. Watch it one more time before you do your second practice test, and hopefully we can make some progress, or you can make progress. All right? Anyway, thank you very much for completing this assignment. Keep up the good work.